What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Do You Want More, a UFC stat show right here on the Monkmatics channel. I am your host, Monk, aka the Monkmatician, and in this week's episode, we're going to be breaking down all 9 of the preliminary fights on UFC Vegas 37, headlined by Ryan Spann and Anthony Smith. So, almost forgot there. Without further ado, let's get right into it. First fight of the night, Hannah Goldy. It's going to be a women's flyweight fight. Hannah Goldy versus Emily Whitmire. Goldy's 5'4", 61-inch reach. Orthodox fighter, 29 years old. 5-2 professionally. 0-2 in the UFC. Emily Whitmire, moving up from strawweight. 5'5", 63-inch reach. Orthodox fighter, and almost exactly 1 year older than Hannah Goldy. She's 4-4 professionally. 2-3 in the UFC. Hannah Goldy has only finished 1 of her 7 fights by knockout, has never been finished. Emily Whitmire on the other side, let's see, 5 of her 8 fights have been ended by way of finish. 4 of them she has been subbed. Average fight time for Hannah Goldy, 15 minutes. Average fight time for Emily Whitmire, only 5.45 in her 5 fights. She opened -180 favorite, currently -124. Hannah Goldy plus 155 she opened at, currently an even odds right now. Plus 215, fight does not go to decision. Some round finishing data. Whitmire has 1 finish in the first round. She's been finished twice in the first round and once in the second round. Some striking data. Goldy, 4.9 strikes landed per minute, 42% accuracy. She gets hit with 5.93 strikes per minute, however, at a just under 50% defense for a total differential of -1.03. Not great numbers there. Emily Whitmire lands 2.71 strikes per minute, 31% accuracy, gets hit with just over 3 strikes a minute, 54% defense, -0.37 striking differential. Some efficiency, Hannah Goldy -8% striking efficiency, Emily Whitmire -15%. 76% time fought at distance for Hannah Goldy, only 45% for Emily Whitmire. Knockdown data, Goldy has been knocked down once in her UFC career. Takedowns, Goldy lands 1 per 15 minutes at a 33% rate. Her takedown shooting rate is 1.72%. Emily Whitmire on the other side, a bit more, 1.1 takedowns landed per 15 minutes, 50% accuracy. She does have a 70% takedown defense. Takedown shooting rate 1.67. So neither one of these ladies, tends to shoot too many takedowns. But when they do, Whitmire seems to be more successful. Advanced takedown data. Let's see, not much is jumping out at me. Control time, 22, almost 23% for Hannah Goldy. 3.41 minutes per 15. She only gets controlled 0.09 minutes per 15. She's spent 23% of her fight time fighting inside the distance and has controlled 97.38% of that grappling time. Her hold down time is a fantastic 68.17 seconds and has no get up time because she's never been taken down. On the other side, Emily Whitmire, 32.7% control time. Very good. 21, almost 22% against her. That's a 1.5 control time ratio. She's spent 54, almost 55% of her fight time inside the distance and has controlled 59% of that time. She has a good get up time, 35.9 seconds, and a very good hold down time, 133.75 seconds. That is good for 7th out of 44 in the flyweight division, women's flyweight division. Submission data, Whitmire 1 for 1 submission attempts, and she has been subbed 3 times in the UFC. 3 out of 4 submissions have been successful against her. Not good efficiency numbers for either one of these ladies. The best differential number I have as far as locations is a half a strike per minute differential to the body as far as Hannah Goldy. Head striking differential, almost, 3/4 of a strike per minute. Distance strikes, -1.57 per minute differential for Hannah Goldy. Yikes. Let's see, this is a decent number. 68.68% of all significant strikes thrown by Hannah Goldy have gone to the head. 19% to the body, 12.5% to the legs. Emily Whitmire, much more of a headhunter in comparison. 86% to the head, 7.5% to the body, 6.28% to the legs. Last 5 fight statistics. It's the same numbers as above because neither one of these ladies has more than 5 UFC fights. We can skip the trends. Strength of schedule. Not great for either one. Pretty comparable, though. Emily Whitmire, you know, the strength of victory is pretty bad. Same with Hannah Goldie. Strength of defeat, about the same. Pretty inexperienced opponents. There's the last 5 fights, if you'd like to take, or last 5 UFC fights, if you'd like to take a look at that. And then graphical analysis here. Significant strikes landed per minute. Goldie is trending up, but her opponent is above her as far as volume, and they are trending up at a steeper rate. Takedowns, pretty much non-existent for her opponents. Same with control time. Emily Whitmire on the other side, trending way down as far as striking, while her opponents trend up, and they do have a better average than she does as far as significant strikes landed per minute. Takedown defense for her opponents going down, while her control time goes up, looking great. Visual statistical recap of this fight. Here we go, guys. Take a look at those numbers there. Goldie, never been subbed, never been knocked out. Good win percentage. Not a finisher, though. Strength of schedule is going to go to Whitmire for the most part, like we talked about. And then this big number, grappling control percentage for Hannah Goldie, 97.38%. Fantastic. And then a look at the finish rates here, guys. Just kind of take a look at those. We won't go through all of them. 60% finish loss rate in the UFC, 50% finish win rate for both of these ladies. And we will move it on to the next fight. Let's see here. Gustavo Lopez going against Hailey Alateng. Bantamweight fight. Lopez, 5'5", 67-inch reach, orthodox fighter, 32 years old. Alateng, 5'5", 66-inch reach, 29 years old. Lopez professionally 12-6, 1-2 in the UFC. Let's see, 78% of his fights don't see the end, or don't see the distance, I should say. 5 knockout wins in his career, 6 submission wins. Hailey Alateng, 14-8, 8-1 professionally, I should say. 2-1 in the UFC. More than half of his fights do go the distance. Let's see, opening line, -110 for Lopez, currently even odds. Hailey, -110, currently -122. Lopez does have a round 1 finish win, and he did get finished in round 3. Basic striking data, Lopez, only 2.24 significant strikes landed per minute. That's very low volume, 63 out of 69 in the bantamweight division, 41.72% accuracy. Gets hit with almost double what he lands, 4.65 per minute at a 51.66% defense. Let's see here, -2.41 significant strike per minute differential. That is terrible, 63 out of 69. On the other side for Alateng, 2.87 strikes landed per minute at a 32% accuracy. That is very poor. Gets hit with, again, doubled up, more than doubled, 5.82 significant strikes landed against per minute, 57.8% defense. His striking differential is even worse, -2.96 per minute. That is 4th lowest in the bantamweight division. Both these guys have negative striking efficiency numbers. Lopez has fought 63% of his fight time at distance. Alateng, 86% of his fight time at distance. Knockdown data. Lopez has been knocked down twice. No numbers for Alateng. Basic takedown data. Takedowns landed per 15 for Lopez, 1.06 at a 50% accuracy. His takedown landed against is terrible. 6.92 landed per minute, or per 15 minutes against 28% defense, less than 28% defense. He's only stuffed 5 out of 8 takedowns, you guys. His takedown shooting rate, 2.65%. His opponent takedown shooting rate, 6.64%. Negative takedown efficiency number there. On the other side, not much better as far as, well, I'm not saying that. Alateng, 2.33 landed per minute. Pretty good average at a 35% accuracy. Not great, but not terrible. Takedowns landed against, 0. 100% takedown defense, stuffed all 3 against. His takedown shooting rate is a huge 5.12, and his opponent's only 0.48. Takedown efficiency, 35%. Look at these striking numbers, then look at the takedown numbers. I wonder if Alateng should go for the takedown here. I think so. Make sure I unmute the mic so I don't speak for another 40 minutes muted. Let's see. Basic control time. Let's take a look at this here. Wow. Gustavo Lopez, 4% to 33%. That is terrible. A control time ratio almost 10 to 1 or 9 to 1. He controls only 0.6 minutes per 15, while his opponent controls almost an entire round per 15 against him. He has spent 37% of his fight time inside the distance, only controlling 10.86% of that fight time. His get-up time is average, 31 seconds. His hold-down time is bad, 17 seconds. On the other side, Alateng, 13.74% control time, 4. Barely been controlled at all, 0.1 minutes total in his career. 2 minutes per 15 he controls, doesn't get controlled hardly at all. He has fought only 14% of his fight time inside the distance, but that time he's controlled 98% of it. His hold down time, not too great, 18.55, has no get up time because he's never been taken down. So the wrestling and the control time numbers go to Alateng pretty easily. Submission attempt for Lopez, 1 for 1. He's defended both submissions thrown up against him. No numbers for Alateng. No reversal numbers. Nothing for body striking accuracy. Third in the division for Lopez, 86%. Pretty good there. Alateng does take a significant amount of body shots. 1.42 per minute he gets landed on him, so that could come into play here. Advanced significant striking efficiency and differentials, not great for Lopez. 25% to the body, though, like we just mentioned. Everywhere else is negative for Alateng as well, except for leg strikes. Almost -2 strikes to the head per minute difference for Alateng. Distance strikes, -2.31. Almost an entire body strike difference. That's terrible. Bad numbers from Lopez here, but not as bad as Alateng. 78% of all significant strikes thrown from Lopez have been to the head, 15% to the body, 6.5% to the legs, 86% to the head for Alateng, 8.7% to the body, 5% to the legs. 99% of his total strikes thrown, or significant strikes thrown rather, have been from distance. 99%. Last 5 we don't have to look at. They only have 3 fights each. Strength of schedule, much better for Lopez all around. Strength of defeat is pretty much the same. He's got decent ratios as well. Pretty low for Haile Alateng. And then the last 5 fight history, if you guys want to take a look at that, Lopez has had to go. Look who he's fought, man. Adrian Yanez, tough fucking fight. He went through Anthony Burchak really easily. His first fight in the UFC was against Merab. I mean, come on. He got taken down 13 times, bro. 13 times. My goodness. Alateng did lose to Casey Kenny, beat Benoit and Dana. Excuse me. Striking numbers for Lopez. He is trending up. Opponent trending up at about the same rate, and the average is way different. I mean, he's getting dominated in these categories. He is trending up everywhere, though, but his opponents are smashing him in his 3 fights in the UFC. Most of this takedown and control numbers are from Merab, though, as we've come to find out. Haile Alateng also increasing. You know, he's trending up in his striking, but his opponents are trending way up. Like I said, he's getting doubled up, more than doubled up on the ground, or in standing rather. But on the ground, looking pretty good. His opponents have no numbers to speak of, takedown-wise or control time-wise. Basic fight metrics. I mean, Alateng pretty much rules this whole shit, except for accuracy and takedown accuracy. Everywhere else, he's dominating. The takedown defense, especially. The grappling control time. Oof. If he gets this to the ground, Lopez doesn't really have a shot, I don't think. And I do think this is going to go to decision. Look at these finish numbers. You know, 33% is the highest we're at here. In the career, though, 70% they've won by finish, 50% they've lost by finish. So, but in the UFC, not so much. Next fight, we are at 15 minutes. We'll try to get this done in an hour. That would be so amazing. Carlson Harris going against Ipa Kasanganay. Welterweight fight. Harris, 6 feet tall, 76-inch reach, orthodox fighter, 34 years old, 16-4 professionally. He is 1-0 in the UFC. Half of his fights do go the distance. He has 4 wins by KO and 5 wins by sub. Only been finished once in his career. Kasanganay, 5'11", 75-inch reach, orthodox fighter. He is significantly younger at 27 years old. 9-1 professionally, 2-1 in the UFC. 60% of his fights do go the distance. He has 1 TKO loss in his career and 3 sub victories. Let's see here. Not going to be much for Harris in these fights. He does have a round 1 finish win. Kasanganay a round 2 finish win and a round 2 finish loss. Basic striking data, very low volume from Harris, 1.74 significant strikes landed per minute at a 38% accuracy, very low numbers. He only has gotten hit with 0.35 significant strikes per minute, only been hit with 1 strike at a 90% defense. His first fight ended in just a couple of minutes, so that's why we're seeing these numbers here. He has a 1.39 significant strike landed per minute differential. His striking accuracy, very good, 28% for low volume. His time fought at distance, 51%. Kasanganay on the other side, much higher volume, 4.59 significant strikes landed per minute at a 41% accuracy. He does get hit with over 4 strikes per minute, 61% defense, so not too bad there. Positive striking differential at 0.47. His striking efficiency is also positive, 2.34%. His time fought at distance, a whopping 80%. 80%. Knockdown data, nothing to speak of for Harris. Kasanganay has been knocked down 1 time. He did lose that fight. Basic takedown data, nothing offensively for Harris. 100% takedown defense. He did stuff the 1 takedown thrown against him. He did throw 3 takedowns, 23% shooting rate there. On the other side, Kasanganay, 1.09 takedowns landed per 15 minutes at a 28.5% accuracy. 50% takedown defense. Let's see, negative 21.43% takedown efficiency. Control time, 30% for Harris, 18.5% against. Does have a 1.63 control time ratio. Time fought inside the distance, 48.78%, and he does control 62% of that fight time inside the distance. Kasanganay on the other side, out-controlling his opponents, 11.46% to 8.19%. Smaller ratio than Harris. Time fought inside the distance, 19.5%. He does control most of that time as well, though, 58%. His get-up time is 67.5 seconds, not great. His hold-down time, also not great, only 27 seconds. Submission attempts, 100% for Harris, 100% for Kasanganay. No reversals. Anything jumping out to me here? We're going to have crazy numbers for Harris because such low striking volume. Run-of-the-mill for Kasanganay. Efficiency and differentials. Mostly, well, distance strikes for Harris, plus 1.39 distance strikes per minute differential there. Decent numbers for Kasanganay. Only 70% of the strikes thrown by Harris did go to the head, 23% to the body, and 7.5% to the legs. 83% to the head for Kasanganay, 12% to the body, and 5% to the legs. Let's see, both of these guys, 100%. Well, I shouldn't say both. 100% distance strikes thrown from Harris, 96% distance strikes thrown from Kasanganay. Last 5 we don't have to look at. Strength of schedule in the last 5 professional fights, much better for Kasanganay. Well, actually not much better, pretty close. Strength of defeat is much better, though, for Harris. Last 5 fights in the UFC for both of them. Kasanganay did get posterized by Joaquin Buckley, as we used to say, by some crazy head kick, I believe. And then we don't really have much to look at for Harris. Only 1 fight as far as these numbers go. Kasanganay trending up, but so is his opponents. Trending way up in takedowns, trending way up in control time. Love to see that. Visual stat recap here. Much better defense for Carlston Harris. Grappling percentage is actually pretty close. Neither guy has ever been subbed. Chindex is much better for Harris. Let's see here. And then strength of schedule numbers. Here are the aggregate win-loss and finish rates professionally and in the UFC. Anytime they've lost, well, I guess that's only once. So that would have been a pretty stupid sentence. Never mind. Percent of finished losses professionally, 40%, 48% in wins. I don't know about a finish in this one, guys. Might be a long fight. Next fight, Sarah Alpar going against Erin Blanchfield. I have no numbers for Erin Blanchfield. She's never fought in the UFC, so this should be quick. Sarah Alpar. This is going to be a women's flyweight fight. I believe it says so on the UFC website, although the last fight for both of these women has been at bantamweight, so we'll see. 125, 5'4" for Alpar, 63-inch reach. She's a southpaw fighter, 30 years old. The much younger Blanchfield, 22 years old, 5'4", 66-inch reach. Blanchfield 6-1 professionally. 57% of her fights have gone the distance. She has 2 career KO TKO wins and 1 sub win, never been finished. Sarah Alpar professionally 9-5, 0-1 in the UFC. Let's see here. Alpar opened plus 155, currently plus 241. Lots of money coming in on Blanchfield. Pushed her all the way up from minus 180 to minus 308. This fight is plus 175. Doesn't go the distance. Sorry. Alpar did get finished in her one UFC fight in the 3rd round. Sorry for making it jump around like that. Basic striking data for Alpar: 0.84 strikes landed per minute, 40% accuracy. Got hit with 5.3 strikes landed per minute. 28.3% in defense, negative 4.46 significant strikes landed per minute differential. That is rough. Rough. Advanced striking data, negative. 18% of Alpar's time was fought at distance. Takedown data, not much better. 2 takedowns landed per 15 minutes, only 18.18% accuracy. 0% takedown defense. All she did was shoot. 36.67 takedown shooting rate, negative 81% efficiency. Control time, she got crazy controlled. 24%, which is a decent number, but got controlled 57.8% of that time. Almost 8.68 minutes per 15. 82% of her fight time inside the distance. She did only control 29.46% of that fight time. That can't be right. Yes, it is. Her get-up time is the last in the division, probably. 498 seconds. Hold down time, only 18.91. Not good numbers here, guys, from Sarah Alpar at all. Very low. Volume numbers everywhere. Super duper low. Super duper fly. Negative efficiency everywhere. Dude, her head striking differential, negative 4.39 per minute. Oof, that's the biggest number I ever did see. Look at these clinch striking differentials. Negative 2.5 ground strikes per minute. Oh my god. Last 5, we don't need to look at that. She has a terrible strength of schedule. Your one and only fight, she got smashed up by Jessica Rose Clark. And basic fight metrics, we don't have much to look at. Finishing metrics, however, Blanchfield much better everywhere for the most part, and a much more difficult strength of schedule as well. There you go. Flew through that one pretty easy, pretty painless. Next fight, Montel, not Jordan. So hard for me not to type Montel Jordan. This is how we do it. All right, 5'10" for Jackson, 75-inch reach, southpaw, 29 years old. JP Buys, 55, 5'5", 67-inch reach, orthodox fighter, 25 years old. JP Buys last fought at flyweight. Looks like he is moving up to bantamweight for this one. Jackson 10-2 professionally, 4-2 in the UFC. 41, almost 42% of his fights have gone the distance. 6 knockout wins in his career, never been finished. JP Buys 9-3 in the UFC, 0-1, or 9-3 professionally, 0-1 in the UFC. Only 8% of his fights have gone the distance in his career. Jackson 14.08 ass whoop index. JP Buys negative 43 ass whoop index. Montel Jackson opened at a very meager minus 600. He's currently minus 548. JP Buys plus 400. Hasn't moved that much. Yeah, don't put your money on JP Buys. I should just move on. But Montel Jackson, 2 finish wins in the first round. Basic striking data. These numbers are... Actually, I don't want to move on. Jackson has some fantastic fucking numbers all across the board. Check this out. 3 points. I'm not even going to touch on JP Buys. He got his ass whooped in his last fight. We're not even going to mention it. Okay? Deal. Montel Jackson, 3.65 strikes landed per minute. 59.5% accuracy. Okay? 1.46 strikes landed against per minute. That's it. 1.46. 53% significant striking defense. Differential of 2.18 strikes landed per minute. That's 10th best in the division. Striking efficiency 12%. Time fought at distance only 40%. So looking really good. When he throws more than 100 strikes, which has happened twice, his strikes landed per minute go up an entire strike to 4.63. He has won both of those fights as well. Knockdown data, 4 knockdowns for Jackson. That is a 0.94 KD per 15 rate, 9th in the division out of 69 fighters. Let's see here. He has won 2 out of 3 of those fights where he has scored knockdowns. Basic takedown data, fantastic from Jackson. 4.24 takedowns landed per 15, 6th highest, 75% accuracy. He does get taken down a little bit, but 65.3% defense, that's not terrible. Takedown shooting rate, 6.15% at a 40% takedown efficiency. Very, very good there. Just making sure I'm not skipping anything important on the other side. Control time, 35% for, 25% against. Could be better, but it is still very much positive. He has fought 60% of his fight time inside the distance. He has controlled most of that time, 58.5%. His get-up time is very good, 19 seconds. Hold down time, just under a minute. Terrible numbers from Bays, 49% control time against. He's only controlled 21% of the grappling time. 100% sub rate for Jackson, 1 of 1, and he's fended off all 4 sub attempts against him. He does have 2 reversals as well. Head strikes landed per minute, 2.58. Pretty good there. Head strikes landed against per minute, only 0.39. That is the second best in the division. Very, very good. I mean, his body striking accuracy, second highest. His accuracy numbers, very good here. His defensive numbers, very good. Efficiency, first time all night so far. Positive numbers across the board. He has an over 2 head strike differential per minute. I mean, almost an entire strike difference per minute in the clinch. Half a strike in the ground on the ground. 80% head strikes thrown. 14 to the body, 5 to the legs. I'm loving this. He's 4-1 in his last 5. His ass whooping index in those 5, 21.32. That's a huge number, trust me. Another huge number, 2.11 power index. That's fantastic. And a perfect chindex right here. I mean, in the last 5, his striking differential, 2.51. Takedown differential, 1.85. Control time differential, 23%. Reversal differential, I mean, come on. What do you want from this guy? What do you want from this guy? His takedown accuracy has dipped 2% in his last 5 fights. Everywhere else, he's improved significantly. Strength of schedule, much better than JP buys. Ratios are very good for the card. And here's the last 5. I mean, whooped Jesse Strader's ass. Whooped up on Kalarish. Andrei Sukmantov whooped his ass. Kelleher whooped his ass. Brett Johns, close fight, went the distance. Trending up as far as striking goes. Trending down as far as takedowns go, but he is still way above his opponents. And same issue with control time. JP Bays, only 1 fight. I mean, look at this. Look at this graph. Basic fight metrics. Completely encompassing JP Bays here. Just fantastic. That's what you're going to see, an ass whooping here. That's why he's minus 550. Never been finished. Better strength of schedule. Not sure if this one finishes, though. 50% of the wins between these guys have been finishes, and 33% of the losses. I don't know, it could be. Career tells a different story. Much higher numbers, as the case usually is. All right, next one. Rongju. I'm sure I'm saying that not correctly. All right, going against Dakota Bush. Wrong, 5'9". This is going to be a lightweight fight. 5'9", 71-inch reach. Orthodox fighter, only 21 years old. 17-4, though, at 21 years old. He's 17-4 professionally. 0-1 in the UFC. 14% of his fights go the distance. He has 11 wins by knockout, 4 wins by sub. He's been sub 3 times. Dakota Bush, 5'10", 73-inch reach. Orthodox fighter, 27 years old, 8-3 professionally, 0-1 in the UFC. Almost half of his fights have gone the distance. 4 wins by sub, 2 by knockout, never been finished. Both fighters with a negative ass whoop index, as they did lose their fights. Plus 125, Wrong opened at. He's currently even. I have no other lines for this fight. Bush opened minus 145, currently minus 124. No finishes. Striking data, 2.8 significant strikes landed per minute for Wrong at a 40% accuracy. He got pieced up, 6.4 landed against per minute, 45% defense, negative 3.6 strikes per minute differential. Negative efficiency, spent 74% of that fight at distance. Dakota Bush, 2.73 strikes landed per minute, 39% accuracy, very similar to Wrong. 4.47 landed against per minute at a 41.74% accuracy. Terrible differential, negative 1.73, but not nearly as bad as Wrong Zhu. In fact, more than double is Wrong Zhu's number. Negative efficiency, 45% at distance. No knockdown numbers for these guys. Takedown, 3 takedowns landed per 15 minutes for Wrong at a 75% accuracy. He has 100% defense as he did stuff 1 takedown. 75% efficiency here. Dakota Bush, 1 takedown landed per 15 minutes, 16.67% accuracy, has a 0% takedown defense because he did get taken down 1 time. Let's see, control time data, 18% to 7% for Wrong. That is a 2.34 ratio, very good. 26% of his fight time did happen inside the distance, and he controlled 70% of that time. His hold down time was 41 seconds, pretty average there. Dakota Bush, control time 10% for, 45% against. Terrible ratio, gets controlled 6.7 minutes per 15. Spent 55% of his fight time inside the distance, only controlled 18.46% of that time. His get up time, terrible. 400 seconds, my God. His hold down time, 15.17 seconds. So the complete opposite of what you're going to want to see here. Wrong, 100% submission defense, very good. Dakota Bush, 1 reversal for, 2 reversals against in that 1 fight. Pretty bad striking numbers as far as Bush goes. And Wrong for that matter. Negative efficiencies across the board. Negative 142% striking efficiency. I don't even know if that's possible, but I guess they're trying to send me a message here. Negative differentials everywhere. Negative 1.8 strikes to the body difference. Negative 3.6 from distance. Oof. My God. Pretty bad strength of schedules here. Look at Wrong strength of schedule. Not even 50 in a couple of these. Strength of victory is terrible. Strength of defeat is okay. Bush, much better everywhere. Wrong Zhu, his opponents in the last 5 have a losing record. Only a 45% win rate. And he got beat by Vargas here, Kazula Vargas. Dakota Bush, his 1 fight, he lost to Austin Hubbard via decision. Wrong Zhu, look at this. He has Dakota Bush completely encompassed. Never been finished. Bush has the much tougher strength of schedule. No finishes from these guys in their first fight in the UFC. Let's move it along. Nate Maness going against Tony Gravely. This is going to be a bantamweight fight. Maness, 5'10", 72-inch reach, orthodox fighter, 30 years old. He is 13-1 professionally, 2-0 in the UFC. 43% of his fights have gone the distance in his career. 4 wins by knockout, 3 by sub. Tony Gravely on the other side, 5'5". Wow, significantly shorter, 69-inch reach, orthodox fighter, 29 years old. 21-6 professionally, 2-1 in the UFC. 37% of his fights have gone the distance. 9 wins by TKO, 3 wins by sub, 5 sub losses in his career. Oof. Ass whoop index is pretty even for both guys. Maness opened at plus 190, currently plus 154, I should say. Gravely opened minus 225, currently minus 187. Plus 135 fight doesn't go to decision. Let's see, they each have a round 2 finish win in the UFC. And Gravely did get finished in the 3rd round once. Basic striking data, 2.4 significant strikes landed per minute for Nate Maness at a 45% accuracy. Got hit with twice that, 4.63 per minute at a 45% defense. That's a negative 2.22 significant strikes landed per minute differential, 60th out of 69 in the bantamweight division. Negative striking efficiency, fought 45% of his fight time at distance. Tony Gravely, 4.1 significant strikes landed per minute at a 57% accuracy. That's 6th highest in the division. 2.99 landed against per minute at a 46% defense. leaving him a positive differential 1.1 landed per minute. 3.72% striking accuracy, and has fought only 23% of his fight time at distance. Very good there. Or very good, I don't know. That's low is what I mean. I don't know why I said very good. Knockdown data. 1 knockdown for Maness, none against. 2 for Gravely. They both won those fights in which they scored a knockdown. Basic takedown data for Maness, 1.33 landed per 15 minutes at a 66% accuracy. The more impressive number, however, is the 88% takedown defense that he has put up. Has stuffed 15 out of 17 takedowns in the UFC. Very, very good. His opponent's 8.95% shooting rate. Maness with the 54% 55% takedown efficiency rate, third best in the division. Tony Gravely lands 4.36 takedowns per minute, 5th highest, at a 59% accuracy, 10th highest. Gets taken down quite a few times, 52% defense, negative differential, 10% accuracy. That's not terrible. Let's see here. Basic control time data. Only 8% from Maness, gets controlled 46% of the time. That's a huge differential. Fought, let's see, 55% of his total fight time at inside the distance, and only controlled 16.06% of that time. His get up time is okay, 46 seconds, 46 and a half. His hold down time, 39 and a half. You know, pretty run of the mill for both numbers. Other side, Gravely, just as bad, pretty much. 25% for, but he gets controlled 51%. That ratio is, 1 to 2. Time fought inside the distance for Gravely, 77%. He's only controlled 33% of that fight time, so that's not as good as, or not as bad as Maness, but it's still pretty poor. Get up times are similar, 39 seconds. Hold down time, 30 seconds. Not too many submission numbers to speak of. Well, that's not true. Maness did score a submission and stuffed one against him. Tony Gravely has been submitted 1 time. He's also been reversed twice. Some decent efficiency. Well, I spoke too soon. Negative pretty much across the board for the most part. Head striking differentials for Maness. Look at this. I mean, these numbers are terrible. And pretty much, head and at distance from Gravely are just as bad. 80% head strikes thrown. 15% to the body. Pretty even numbers there. As far as head strikes, I should say. Last 5 we don't have to look at. Strength of schedule, rather. Much better for Maness. The strength of defeat is pretty even. But otherwise, it's definitely Maness's category. His ratios are much better as well. And here we go. He did get a win over Johnny Munoz in his UFC debut, although I have him losing that fight. According to the metrics, he has a -7 ass whoop index in his win. Let's see what happened here. He got outstruck, got taken down 2 to 1. And got out-controlled 65% to 10%. And somehow the judges gave him that fight. I wonder if 3 Adelaide Birds were watching that. Might have to go back and watch that before I put any bets down this weekend. Luke Sanders, Let's take a look at some graphs. Trending up in all 3 categories, but so is his opponent. And same exact thing on the Gravely side. Visual statistical recap. Just in case you wanted to see that. Percent of finished losses in the UFC, 100%. I guess that's only 1, but still. 50% finish win rate. 85% finish loss rate in their career. That's a big old number. All right, what do we got here? 2 fights left. What are we on time? 38 minutes? Oh my God. Hey, if I went too quickly, or if you wanted to specifically know something about one of these fights or fighters, please leave a question or a comment in the comments. I will read them and respond to each and every one. Unless you're a douchebag, but you're not. You guys are so nice. There are no douchebags. But if you were, I'd be a douchebag right back. So at least we got that little back and forth. But please feel free to ask any questions if I'm going. Obviously, I'm not covering all the numbers here. That would take so long. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions, guys. Penny Kianzad against Raquel Pennington. Women's bantamweight fight. 5'7" is Penny. 66-inch reach, orthodox fighter, 29 years old. She's 15-5 professionally, 4-2 in the UFC. 70% of her career fights have gone the distance. Let's see here. Raquel Pennington, 5'7", 67-inch reach, orthodox fighter, 33 years old, 11-9 professionally, 8-5 in the UFC. Same, 70% of her career fights have gone the distance. Paney opened up -105, currently even odds. Raquel Pennington opened -115, currently -129. Not too many finished numbers for here for these ladies. Pennington does have 2 submission wins in the UFC, coming in the first and second round. And Paney did get finished once in the second round, and Raquel did in the 5th, probably to Amanda Nunes, if I'm remembering that correctly. Striking data, 5.71 landed per minute for Paney. That's huge volume numbers on this side of the chart. 49% accuracy. She gets hit with 4.5 strikes per minute, however, 54% defense. Positive differential, 1.14 per minute. 7th highest in the UFC. In the women's bantamweight division. Positive efficiency as well, 3.97%. Spends almost 68% of her total fight time at distance. When she throws more than 100 strikes, and that has happened in 4 fights in the UFC out of 6, her strikes per minute goes to 6.95 landed. That's the 5th highest in the division. And she's won all 4 of those fights as well. When she's facing 100 significant strikes, which has happened in 5 fights, she lands 6 per minute, and she's won 80% of those fights. So the more punches thrown, the more time this fight stays at distance, the better for Paney Kianzad. Pennington on the other side, 3.62 landed per minute, 48.5% accuracy, 3.2 landed against per minute at a 63% defense. That's 3rd highest in the division. 0.42 striking differential, 10th highest. Her striking efficiency, 12%. Spends 52% of her fight time at distance. Knockdowns, nothing. Paney has been knocked down twice, and she did lose. She loses the fights in which she has been knocked down at 100% rate. Basic takedown data, not much to speak of for Paney. 1 takedown, 14% accuracy. Her takedown defense, though, very, very good. 79%. Very good. Takedown efficiency, -6.77. That's because her accuracy is so bad. On the other side, Pennington lands 1.12 takedowns per 15 minutes, 28.5% accuracy. Decent, 66% defense, so pretty good. 3.51% takedown shooting rate. Negative efficiency as well. Control time, 7.5% for Paney, 25% against. Spends 32% of her total fight time inside the distance and only controls 23% of that fight time. She has a poor get-up time at 64 seconds, and she has a decent hold-down time at 53 seconds. Other side, Pennington here, 23% control time for, 23% control time against. Time fought inside the distance, 47%, and she does control almost 50% of that grappling time. Her get-up time is similar to her opponent at 60 seconds, and same with the hold down time at 53 seconds. Some efficiency numbers, we are positive across the board here. Looking good. Inside the distance for Paney, 45%. Some good body striking and leg striking numbers from Pennington. Some good differential numbers here from Paney. 1 strike per minute to the head differential, 1.17 at distance. Significantly less for Pennington. 81.7% of all strikes thrown from Paney, significant strikes I should say, have gone to the head, 13% to the body, 5 to the legs. Pennington, 75% to the head, 17% to the body, 7 to the legs. 91% of all significant strikes thrown from Kianzad have come at distance. Last 5 fights we can definitely look at for the first time here. Paney's 4-1, Raquel 2-3. Kind of a checkerboard across the board here. Differential numbers in the last 5. Positive number for Kianzad in striking. Negative takedowns and negative control time. Has a negative ass whoop index, but so does Pennington, and it is lower. Chindex, however, for Kianzad, not great, 0.28. Could be worse, but she has been knocked down. Pennington has dropped, has gotten, or is trending down, I should say, in her last 5 fights. All of these numbers are down except for takedowns landed against per 15 minutes. Strength of schedule over the last 5. Opponent win percentage and strength of schedule goes to Raquel Pennington, and it's not close. But the strength of victory and the strength of defeat both go to Pannie Kianzad. And that's just as far as record goes, guys. That's not like a name value. I'm not giving scores to names. I mean, I know Pennington did fight Amanda Nunes, you know. So I'm not, it's just the opponent's records, last 5 opponents' records. And I'm just adding them up and doing my math on the back end. So that's where I get these numbers here. So it does even out, even with, you know, Amanda Nunes and Irene Aldana and Holly Holm. These are the numbers that we're getting as far as strength of schedule. So Raquel does have the better number, though. Trending up in striking as far as Pannie goes, so are her opponents, but not close as far as the averages. Trending down in takedowns and control time, whereas Raquel is trending up everywhere, looking pretty good there, and the numbers are much closer on the average side of things. And then the visual stat recap here. Pennington much harder to finish than Kianzad. Strength of schedule goes to Pennington for the most part. You know, things we all covered. Obviously, probably not going to bet this fight to finish inside the distance. Pretty safe bets there. All right, guys, we're going to finish this prelim breakdown with Tafon Nchukwu going against Mike Rodriguez. This fight's taking place at light heavyweight, so Nchukwu is going up from 185, where he fought his last fight, I believe. Tafon, 6 foot tall, 77-inch reach, orthodox fighter, 26 years old, almost 27, only 5-1 professionally. So he only has 6 fights. He is 1-1 in the UFC. 33% of his career fights have gone the distance. He has 4 wins by knockout TKO, never been finished. Mike Rodriguez, 6'4", considerably taller, 5-inch reach advantage at 82 inches, southpaw versus orthodox here, and Rodriguez is also almost 6 years older than Tafon. Rodriguez 11-6 professionally, won no contest. He is 2-4 in the UFC, and yeah, only less than 12% of his fights in his career have gone the distance. He has 9 wins by knockout, 2 wins by sub, has been finished 4 times. The ASWAP index for Tafon is 5.08, for Rodriguez, negative 8.1. This line opened up minus 110. Tafon is currently minus 129. Rodriguez is sitting even. This is a minus 190. Fight doesn't go. Let's see. Rodriguez has 2 finished wins in the first round. Been finished in the first, second, and third round. He doesn't. He likes to even that out, you know. Every round gets its day. Striking data for Nchukwu. 5.93 significant strikes landed per minute. That is 5th in the division. 55% accuracy. He gets hit with only 3.7 strikes per minute. 51% defense. He has a fantastic 2.23 significant strikes landed per minute differential. That is 3rd highest at light heavyweight. On the other side, actually before that, Nchukwu has a 5.99% striking efficiency and has fought 74% of his total fight time at distance. Rodriguez, some good striking numbers here as well. 4.67 landed per minute, 61% accuracy, gets hit with 3.45 strikes per minute, 41% defense, positive differential of 1.22. That's top 10 in the division, 2% efficiency. Spends only 38.5% of his total fight time at distance, however. Knockdown data, 1 for Nchukwu, 5 for Rodriguez in the UFC. Has been knocked down 1 time. That's a KD per 15 differential of over 1. That's the 8th highest in the light heavyweight division. Those numbers are not to be trifled with. Basic takedown data. Pretty, not much for Nchukwu offensively. Half a takedown landed per 15 minutes. 25% accuracy. His takedown defense, though, 66.67%. Has stuffed 6 of 9 takedowns against. Negative efficiency. Mike Rodriguez, 0 for 1 in the attempts. His takedown defense is god-awful at 39%. My goodness. Only stuffed, what is that, 9? No, I'm sorry about that. Only stuffed 11 out of 28 takedowns shot against him. for a negative 60% efficiency. That is just bad. Control time, 11.39% for Tafon, 14% against. He's fought 26% of his total fight time inside the distance and has controlled a decent amount of it, 43.8%. His get-up time is fairly good, less than 30 seconds. Hold down time, also good, 51 seconds. Rodriguez on the other side, much worse numbers, 14, almost 15% for control time, 46.7% control time against. I mean, that is terrible. He's getting controlled 7 full minutes out of 15 minutes in his fights. He has spent 61.5% of his fight time inside the distance, only controlled 24% of that time, and his get-up time is pretty bad, 58.93 seconds. Mike Rodriguez has had 6 submissions thrown up against him in the UFC, only defended 4 of them successfully. Efficiency numbers pretty low for Nchukwi. Differentials are pretty good, especially in body and clinch. My God, over 2 per minute in each one of those categories. Mike Rodriguez, 1.07 distance striking differential per minute. That's, very good, very good. Last 5. Nchukwi's going to be the same as above, but Rodriguez, much worse ass whoop index, negative 8.74. His power index, still there, 1.5, but that Chindex is 0.7. Not a great number. He does have a positive striking differential, but that takedown differential is awful. Control time differential is terrible. Reversal differential, all that. Pretty bad. Strength of schedule, both guys, not great. You want to be above 75 in most of these, and we're not here. So I don't even know who wins this, really. It's pretty even, I guess. I guess I'd say it's even. Even, both terrible. There's the last 5 fights. Much more filled out for Rodriguez, as he has, 7 fights in the UFC. And then we go to some graphs where Nchukwi trending up, so is his opponent, but he's much higher than his opponent. And then the ground game definitely needs some work. Opponent's trending up at a much higher rate. Rodriguez trending down in his striking, but so is his opponent. No takedowns to speak of, and then the control time is just bad. Just bad. Visual stat recap. Much more active numbers here from Nchukwi. I know he has a much smaller sample size, but he's pretty much dominating Rodriguez everywhere. And then the finish metrics as well. Never been finished, has Tafon. Strength of schedule pretty much going in opposite directions. They're both pretty bad, as we can see. Don't really know who wins that. Like I said, I think it's pretty even. I guess technically, if by looking at this, you'd have to give it to Rodriguez because the opponent win percentage is higher. This one might see a finish here. Some pretty high finish numbers for as far as the UFC goes. Do like to see that in the aggregate win, loss, and finish rates. All right, guys, that is gonna do it. We did it. We're under an hour. I never even thought this was possible. It is like 3 in the morning. I forgot where my camera was. I moved it. It was over there. Now it's over here. That's why you're seeing, a totally different side of me. But I would, let's wrap this up, guys. Those were all 9 fights. Most of the important statistics I did rattle off. We're not really getting into picks yet. I will make a video on that later this week. But thank you so much for joining me. If you're still here with me, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. It would really mean the world to me. Go back. I did release this week, only put out 1 video so far, but it was the tipping point video where me and Uncle Wheezy, special guest, broke down the main event for this fight card, Ryan Spann against Anthony Smith. So guys, please go check that out. Help me hit my first triple-digit number as far as views go on this channel. That would just warm this heart of mine. So I really appreciate you sticking with me here. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. And also do that tape study. Get those tape studies in, man. Watch some fights. Who doesn't like watching fights? Not you. Watch those fights. Be sure to also stick around. I will be releasing a main card breakdown. I'm recording it as soon as I stop this one. So these will be out at the same time, probably first thing on Monday, September 13th. So again, thanks for joining me, and we will see you next time. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.